What's up, you guys? Oh, see, I'm so not used to looking into the camera. Thank you, YouTube world, for welcoming me in here. I'm in this. So, okay, no, we're not doing this. This is not happening. And I just found a Panda Express gift card in my boyfriend's hoodie. This is much, much better. I'm getting some quarantine weight, but you know, it's fine, guys. It's cute. She's getting thick. So, I am here today because I've been promising story times for like ever. I need to fix this. I feel like I have no body. Now I need to center myself. My OCD's like, hell no. Okay, look at that. So I did my makeup today. That's another plus. I don't know how to do makeup. I'm learning as I go. Jeffree Star hooked it up. All right, today I have been telling you guys for forever that I would have a story time. But yeah, I wanted to tell you guys a crazy story. Considering I just moved into my new apartment, new crib, new cribbo, you know. I wanted to tell you guys about some of my stories and experiences from the old apartment that I lived in. And this one today is some crazy. I am going to be telling you about my stalker. Yes, I had a stalker. I actually had two at one point, but one of them was just this weird dude whose parents like lived in my apartment building, but this guy is like 50 years old, and I would catch him from like really far away, like down the hall outside, taking pictures of me like walking my dog, until my boyfriend pretty much got like, hi, how are you? Know who I am, know that I exist, and I'm not going anywhere, mother. With that being said, my boyfriend fixed that problem immediately. Yeah, so I'm going to be telling you about today my girl stalker that I had. Have you ever like driven down Lancashire in North Hollywood? For my fellow LA people, see the like worst side of North Hollywood, like the side that you didn't know existed? Well, yeah, I lived there. And there was this homeless shelter right next door to my apartment building. When I tell you the amount of issues that I have had to deal with because this homeless shelter was next door, I would pray and I'd be so grateful that they had a place to go, but fuck, they wouldn't stay there. That was the problem. What had happened was my building had this fucking manager that literally got fired for like auditing and like discrimination toward who she chose to move into that building. So that was one thing. She got caught stealing a bunch of money too. Like, I got all the tea from the new office. With that being said, homegirl, we're not gonna say her name, but we're just gonna call her homegirl, who used to run the building. She approved this like crackhead dude who literally was like, hey kids, like, want some candy? But like, he lived next door to me. So if I'm 2, he's 3, right? That wasn't my number, by the way. Nice try. He came literally off the street, and I don't know if he had like saved up money or what, but he got approved and he moved in, and within 2 weeks he turned that apartment building into a full-blown trap house. The apartment that he lived in, every other night there was homeless people standing outside in the hallway, like in front of his door, like waiting for him to let them in. Sometimes he wouldn't even be home and they'd be banging on his door, like knocking and banging, like in the middle of the night, like so loud, and he wouldn't even be there. But like, he would let these people in, and I was just thinking, okay, don't be judgmental, DEANNA. He's getting his life together and his only friends are like people off the street, you know? So like, it's fine. I don't identify people that are homeless as like their own like being, you know? They're just people under different circumstances than me, but some of them come from drugs and addictions and crime, and not everybody is just under like rough circumstances. Some people do choose to live that way. A lot of the people in my neighborhood in particular, I got to know all of them, you know, like I know them. I knew some of them even by name, and like the ones that were trouble were the ones that would get into my building. This man was pretty much, to like wrap it up, was letting people off the street that weren't being accepted into the homeless shelter next door into his apartment, and he was letting them shower and letting them stay there, and in trade he was either getting drugs or money, or he was getting like even like copper and like metals from outside. Let's say like I threw my refrigerator out of the garbage and I just like left it outside there. The next day it would be disheveled and destroyed. They would steal all the copper out of the wiring and they would sell it so that they can go get money and then go get drugs. There was one night where he had like 10 of them over, and this girl was there. Now, before so now I get home. It's the middle of the night. At the time I had worked at Dave & Buster's. I'd worked a 14-hour shift. I'll never forget this night. I'm like already scared enough to live in this building. I get upstairs and I walk down my hallway. This girl who is like, you know, a little, let's be honest, like, you know, she had the little short haircut, and like she would wear like a sleeveless shirt, but she was a homeless girl and she was always on crack, always on something, like whether it's heroin or what. But the first time I ever saw her, she was asleep in front of my front door. So this is how we met. She thought that my apartment was the man's apartment next door to me that was like the hookup man for them. Like, fuck. She saw me and that was like the first time that she was ever like infatuated. Like, I'm telling you. And I like slammed my front door. I like called the police because I was so irritated. I'm like, no. It's one thing to be like swarming outside of our building all the time and trying to cause trouble, but to be in front of my front door like strung out and passed out, no sis. No. Not today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, not next Tuesday. Like, no. After that, I could never tell if it was like coming from like a, ooh, I like her, or like a, I want to kill this nasty little stupid. So that wasn't the last time I saw her in my building. There was one time I was walking into my stairwell and she was shooting up heroin in the stairwell. There's been times where she's followed me into my building without me realizing, and then I would turn around and see her like down the hall. There has been multiple times where I would be outside walking my dog and she would like come up behind me and like start walking really close behind me. First of all, it doesn't take much to like make my dog realize to protect me. Like I literally would just like pull his neck at her and like turn him this way and like stand behind him, and she would back up and she'd just be like, this is how she would look at me. And when she was mad, she'd be like, she would do this underbite thing, like, and then like open her eyes. She was all strung out. It was low-key cray. Like, I dreamed about her face once or twice, like, and in a scared way. Then my boyfriend moves in with me, right? And this was the point where she went from stalking me mildly to like being outside seeing me all the time and being super like, hi, like, how are you? Like, how are you doing today? Like, your dog is so pretty. It was always like from a distance, you know, like she never tried too crazy. But when my boyfriend moved in with me, it was like I was cheating on her and she was coming for my life. Every time I would leave the door, like my apartment door, she would wait for me. Like there was a time where she did not care how many times she got arrested for sleeping in that street because she always was there. Now that she was like on a hunt to see me every day, she never left this one spot for like months and months and months. So I would avoid it, and then she would find the areas that I avoided while I would go out and walk my dog. Guys, it was so bad to the point that there was a time where she was standing at my car in my parking garage. Like, she would come into the parking garage and she would rob cars. But she wouldn't rob mine, but she would stand at it and she'd creep and hide. Imagine, like, you go into your parking garage and you go over to the driver's side and there's, like, a homeless girl, like, on heroin that's, like, obsessed with you, just staring at you, like, hey, what do you know, like, I whip out my pepper spray real quick and I'm like, what's good, bitch? I get like real ghetto. I'm like, who the f do you think you are? Like, back the f up, get the f away from my car. Nah. So she got really aggressive after this. Like, every time she would see me or she would try to go out of her way to bother me, she was very aggressive. There was one time she walked by me, it was barking. I was like standing with my dog, you know, so she was like, oh, but like wouldn't look at me. She just walked by. There was a time when she had a big old stick. It was like the size of a cane. You know, you could like pimp walk with it. Me and my boyfriend were walking our dog outside the front of our building and she starts bashing the stick into the ground as she walks by us, and then she like drags it and would like smack it in front of our dog, and he would get scared. And so my boyfriend was like, hey, yo, what the f are you doing? Like, back the f up, bitch. We're from Jersey. Out of here. Okay? Period. Poo. Moving forward, this bitch. There was one time I went to 7-Eleven and she was like outside of like the door, like asking people for change. And so she doesn't say anything to me, but she sees me and she's like knows it's me. And I'm like, my back is to her now. I walk past her. I'm like, I get in the car and I hear like a, oh, my dog. Hi, Wamalu. Hi. It's alright. It's a good boy. Oops, my baby. He has anxiety. Okay, so I look up because I'm in my car now and she's like on the hood of my car. And I looked at her, I said, if you don't back the up, bitch, I'm gonna pull my car forward. And she understood me because my window is down. She just like lifted the hand up and just was like, I'll be back for more. And so there was one time after this, I told my boyfriend what happened. He was not happy. She saw us again. This time was like laying on the grass. So like here's our the door to like our stairwell that she would always sneak in. It was like a side door to my building, and we would go out, we would go, and there was like a patch of grass right to the right of us. And she was like laying in the patch of grass, and she sees us and just gets up and like looks at him and said, what? Like just like it was like something like that to my boyfriend. And he looks at her and he's like, what? And she just like stood there and stared at him. He was like, what did you just say to me? Like, and she just didn't say anything. She like looks at me and like just like spits at the ground and walked away. At that point, he knew. He was like, okay, she wants to be aggressive. I had been complaining to him for months about her. And I was like, if you don't do something, we're gonna fight. So he was like, all right, Deanna, now I see it. Like, it's the first time I've like seen the aggressive part of her. Like, it's not just on some like innocent, like I'm just a crackhead shit. It's like, no, she has problems and has a motive. So he's like, I'm gonna let it slide this time, but if she tries anything again, that's it. So the next day, same thing, walking out of the stairwell, we're going to his car, and he's parallel parked right in front of the door, and she's standing right there. Like, she's just standing there. Like, she always is there because she knows that I would come out like 4 times a day outside of that door. She had nothing better to do. She would just wait for hours, guys. Or she would go do drugs and then come back and be all like, oh. There was a time that I watched her get arrested, and they took needles out of her pocket, and she was in jail for like 2 months, and then they released her, and she was like better off in jail. I don't understand. But, so this last time she comes out of the stairwell, his car is parked right there, like I said. So I get in the passenger side. He opens the door for me. Let's say this is the door that my boyfriend opens for me. She's standing right here, and she's just like, and now I walk past her, right? So I'm like looking at her, and I like get in the car, and she goes like this, like at me and my boyfriend. So we get in the car. My boyfriend has an Audi, okay? So that bitch is drop top, okay? It's just low as fuck. So we're low, and like she like gets real. She literally gets real close to the window, and she just at the window. My boyfriend was like, "Oh hell no!" So he, you know, he won't defend me right away. But when it involves his Audi, I'm just saying. He said, "Oh hell no!" He gets out and he goes, "What the fuck you trying to do, bitch?" He said. And I quote,
if you ever think to put your mother grimy fingers on my girlfriend's car ever again, you got some shit coming to you. You don't ever breathe her way. You don't ever look her way. And if you ever try to even think about her or think about doing anything to her, I don't give a that you're female. We can get it poppin'.
First of all, my boyfriend is like a quiet Taurus. He's so like reserved and is so like, what's up? That took him about 1 year and 2 months of him being out here to do. She goes, what are you talking about? He goes, you mean what am I talking about? You think I'm stupid? You ever see her out here again? What do? You don't bother her. You don't touch her. You don't look at her. You don't do nothing. You want to go back and forth with me? He said, keep your distance and don't ever come in my building ever again. And that's on period. So was that the last time she spoke to me, guys? Absolutely not. Then, like a month goes by, and I think this is actually when she got locked up. Like, she got locked up, and I wasn't worried about her anymore. I was like, I'm Nelly Rock on any block. I was like, that's that ska. Wait, what does he say? That's that ska. No, that's that blah. That's that crack. That's that stack. That's that smoke. That's that smoke. No. That's that sweat. I have no idea. So anyways, I think there was like one time after this, she like got really close to me when I was walking my dog, and I turned around and I said, I don't know what your thing is with me, but I am not interested. I need you to stop bothering me. I'm not interested in you. And she just like, whenever I would speak, she never had anything to say to me. It was just always like I'm like, I've tried being nice to you. You don't know how to respect space. I need you to back up or my dog is going to attack you one of these days. And I will let him go and I will let him wreck your shit. And she didn't believe me, so I let him fucking go. My dog is really sweet, but he will defend me if I feel that like I'm giving him the sense like, protect me, protect. He like charged her, more like him smelling her, but it freaked her out and she fucking ran. And with that bitch, that's how you handle a stalker. Get a bull mastiff, okay? That is the story of my stalker girl. Last time that me and my boyfriend saw her, she wasn't on drugs, she was sober. And she walked up to my boyfriend at the time when he was smoking cigarettes still. He had his last one on him, and she came up to him and was like, "Hey, yo, do you have a cigarette, bro?" Like, had no memory of anything. Like, obviously, she was fucked up every single time prior to that. She was like, "Nah, this is my last one, but like, if you wait, I can give you the last few drags," which he did not have to do. That was very nice of him, and I was honestly pissed that he did that because I was like, "Fuck you, you're supposed to be mean." Like, no. Like, no, you're supposed to defend me at all, motherfucker costs. Think this is? Out of here. Good luck. Anyways, moving forward, you know what she says? "Yo, you still got that girlfriend? You still dating that girl?" He said, "Yeah, I'm still dating her." And he's like, "Yo, does she still live here?" And he's like, "Yeah, she still lives here with me. Why?" And she's like, "How long you guys been together?" And he's like, 10 years about, like on and off. And he's like, "I'm not going anywhere." And she's like, "Oh, all right." And like literally walked away, and then we moved out. Never saw her again. So that's the stalker story. Honestly, I never gave her a name. I think if I were to give her a name, it would literally be like Blanca or like Spencer. Like Spencer is like a very like, non-binary, like, yeah. I always felt really bad for her. Her armpits were always super, super hairy, and you could tell she was always so uncomfortable, and I always wanted to help her, but there was a difference between somebody who needs help and somebody who, like, needs, like, psychiatric help. Like, there's only so much I can do for a person like that, especially when she causes threat to me. If you ever normally, like, experience something like that, see the signs early, make sure you have somebody, whether it's your parents and you're younger or your loved ones, like, always listening to your intuition. If you feel that a person is dangerous for your surroundings, call law enforcement if must be, like if need be. I should have called the police on her, but I felt bad for her, and I realized that as long as I have my boyfriend and my dog, she's not going to do anything. I just had to like be smart with my surroundings and my circumstances and let it go, but I hope you guys like this story. If you guys like it, you already know what I'm about to say. I'm about to put the plug in.
Like the video, leave a comment, let me know what other things you want to know about me. I'd love to tell more stories.
I was thinking that my next story could be about when I went to the Slammer twice. Ha ha! Thank you so much for listening, guys, and tuning in, and I can't wait to do more YouTube videos. I don't know why it took me so long to do them. This was like the easiest thing ever, so I'm going to make sure every day in this motherfucking quarantine that I shoot like 2 videos a day, because I got stories on stories on stories. With that being said, in order for me to do that, I need you to subscribe. Thank you very much. I have earned a bath. Love you guys. Take care. Oh, and before I go, if you didn't know and you're new to my page and to anything about me, I do have my own brand named Dimensions with a Y, not an I. Dimensions by DEANNA. If you check out the link down there, I'm going to have a link to my website. Right now, currently, I have my t-shirts for my winter line. And then I also have hoodies. And I have a couple different options for you guys, for guys and girls. Every purchase of a t-shirt, 50% of the proceeds will be donated to the World Health Organization Solidarity Relief Fund for COVID-19. So, if you would like to contribute to donating and you have not donated to any charities thus far, I have already been able to raise $400 on my birthday, so now I am promoting through my brand. So make sure you guys get a t-shirt, support small businesses. We're all struggling, we're all going through it, and the least that we can do is just be there together as a community and as a world with all that's going on that we don't have control over. What we do have control over is how much we support and how much we love and how much care and time we endure to taking things seriously right now. We're in this together, guys. Don't forget that. Yeah, love you. I'll talk to you soon. Till the next story time, bitches.